Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, I would like to share 5 tips that can help you improve your clouds paintings. Let's get started. Tip number 1, focus on shape. First, learn how to draw a cloud. Most clouds can be drawn by using bunch of curves like these. However, some curves are better than others. So what makes a cloud look boring? Symmetry is the number one thing you want to watch out for. Drawing a cloud unevenly would make it look more interesting. The less uniform it is, the better. However, this cloud is still look little bit too boring because curves are still very round and similar to each other. Let's make this same cloud shapes but break outline into more irregular curves and also add some overlapping between them. Let's add some smaller clouds to this. Looks nice. Tip number 2 is what time it is. Depending on the time of the day, the sun will have different color and position. During midday, the sunlight is mostly white, and because of the position of the sun is high up in the sky, the top of the cloud will be highlighted and the bottom will be shadowed. During this time, the sky will have gradient from darker blue at the top down to the lighter blue at the bottom. Whereas this cloud has opposite gradient, the more darker at the bottom and the white at the top. I'll show you how to do exactly this painting, so make sure to stay till end. For sunset, the gradient of the sky will be from the darker blue to the purple through the more of red pinkish and then orange and then yellow because of the sun and then orange again. For the cloud, it is tricky because we have cloud from both above and below the sun. The clouds above the sun are highlighted at the bottom and shadowed at the top. Its color similar to the sky from darker blue or purplish at the top to the orange or reddish at the bottom. The clouds that are below the sun will be opposite of the one that above, where you have highlights the top. Its color will go from the orange yellowish at the top and down to the darker blue and purple at the bottom, shadowed at the bottom. Another thing to note is that sunset tends to be more red and orange compared to the sunrise. This is because during the day the air collects more dust and create more scattering, thus giving the sun that red hue compared to sunrise, where the color is more often of cool yellowish tone. Tip number 3 is to push your perspective when the cloud is far away. You can see more of the front side and less underside. As it more closer, it look bigger and mostly the bottom part of the cloud will be in the frame. If you just paint the front side of the cloud, the painting will look very horizontal. The viewer's eyes start from left hand side and then will go straight line from left to right and then exit the painting. Instead of that, if we draw cloud more into perspective where the top part of the painting will show more, the bottom part clouds because it's closer to us, and the cloud also go from big to small, from top to bottom. Now the viewer's eyes will follow cloud direction towards the center of the painting, which create much more interesting composition. Tip number 4 is to understand your medium. For purpose of that video, I'm going to use demonstration how the way you use your paint and can give your clouds fluffy look. I'm going to use wet on wet method because I want my clouds to look very fluffy and soft. Because the paper is still wet, it is easier for us to create gradually transition from darker blue to the lighter blue for sky. Here I am adding white slightly to mixture to make it slightly lighter for the bottom part. Right now I'm using clean damp brush to take off some paint in the area where cloud is going to be. I'm using white paint at the top to create highlight on the cloud. Remember we talked about it before, when the sun is high and the sky is blue and the highlight of the cloud will be at the top part. Then I'm going to make darker gray color for bottom part of the clouds. And here is the first painting. Now come to the second painting. For the second painting, I'm going to paint sunset. Using the combination of all previous method plus some layering first, I'm going to wet the paper with clean water because we're going to use wet on wet method to paint first layer. Starting out with a very light yellowish for the sun, and we're going to make color warmer, and we expand outward making colors slightly more red, and as we move up and turn it into more of purplish and blue as we get the top part of the sky. After that I'm going to wait for the background to completely dry, and then I'm going to use reddish color to start adding cloud at the bottom part of the page. As I get closer to the sun, my color will be slightly brighter and more yellowish. As I move outward, it will be more purple and blue. The cloud at the bottom will have to highlight on their top part while the cloud at the top will have to highlight at the bottom part. Even though most of the clouds and the painting here pretty sharp edges, I'm still trying to make transition from dark to lighter on the cloud pretty gradually by adding colors similar to each other, values and hues to each other. Our second painting is done, which is the sunset clouds and sky. Tip number 5 is breaking the rules. When painting cloud, breaking the rules can lead to more creative and expressive results. Instead of sticking to the traditional method of smooth blending and soft edges, you can explore different techniques to make your cloud more dynamic and unique. For example, embrace bold brushstrokes, mix unexpected colors, experiment with light and shadows. By breaking these conventions, you will infuse your cloud with creativity and the style that's uniquely yours. Make your painting not just realistic but emotionally engaging. I hope you liked the video and these 5 tips that rely on deep study on making clouds.